You're listening to Psych to Parent, where we turn brain science into tiny wins at home. I'm Dr. Amy, your not-so-typical school psychologist, mom of two, and endurance athlete. I love a good data set and a diagnostic manual. But I also forget permission slips, overthink IEP emails, and occasionally replay the moment I snapped at my kids in the car. In other words, I'm in the messy middle with you, not above it. This show is for parents of big feeling, big thinking kids who are tired of vague advice and Pinterest perfect behavior charts. Each episode, I'll pull back the curtain on what I see in real evaluations, school meetings, my private practice, and my own kitchen, and translate the research into simple scripts, tiny routines, and nervous system friendly tweaks you can actually use. Think of it as a nervous system rehab meets mindset coaching meets a smart, slightly spicy, non-judgy friend in your earbuds. We'll take one real life challenge at a time and shrink it down into 1 or 2 tiny wins you can start this week. No perfection, no 47-step sticker systems, just small, repeatable shifts that add up over time. Quick legal-ish note in plain English. This podcast is for education and support. It's not therapy, it does not create a clinical relationship, and it's not a substitute for personalized medical or mental health advice. If you're worried about your child's safety or mental health, or your own, please reach out to a trusted professional. Okay, deep breath, drop your shoulders. You're not behind and you're not alone. Let's get psyched to parent. May is ALS Awareness Month. I'm kicking off my Dobie 2027 fundraiser as a push athlete with the Kyle Peace Foundation. If you want to support, the biggest help is sharing my fundraiser link with one person. This one's about capacity and connection. In this episode, we're talking about caregiver burnout parenting, aka the season where you love your kid, you know what you want to say, and your patience is somehow a single Tic Tac. This episode is for the parents carrying heavy stuff, grief, caregiving, chronic stress, a newborn who won't sleep, a kid who needs more support than average. Whatever your version looks like. By the end of this episode, you'll know why your capacity shrinks in intense seasons of life, and why that's not a character flaw, how to lower demands without lowering connection, and what to say on low capacity days so you're not improvising while you're already fried. And you'll get a clean repair script for the moment you snip, because you will sometimes. And repair is the skill. We're doing heavy season math. This isn't a parenting problem, it's a capacity problem. Before I give you the 2 dials tool and the scripts, I want to name what the helper trap looks like in real life, because a lot of good parents are stuck in it and blaming themselves. Thank you so much for joining me on the Psych to Parent podcast. The month of May is ALS Awareness Month, and throughout this month, I will be sharing 3 very specific, close-to-heart episodes about ALS and how it relates to me as a parent, daughter, endurance athlete, and clinician. These episodes are more about come pull up a chair, get cozy on the couch, let's drink a warm cup of coffee together. Quick note, mini episode number 1 earlier this month has a deeper backstory about my mom, ALS, and how this season rewired my nervous system in a way I still feel. It's also where I connect the dots to why I'm doing Dobie 2027 with KPF as a push athlete. Because this isn't a race for a cause. It's love turned into action. Okay, let me share a scene that happened recently in my family. It's after school, the backpacks are everywhere, and there's probably goldfish and pirate booty strewn across the kitchen counter. My kids are drinking juice boxes, and I have literally stepped on my 3rd juice box straw wrapper, and I'm like, why can't these make it into the trash can? And one of my kids is working on a family tree project where they need photos, names, dates, achievements, and they want to go back at least 3 or 4 generations. And here's what's wild. When I get asked those questions by my kids, I can answer those questions. I do that for a living. I have the words, the tools. I'm a school psychologist and a therapist. I'm a parent. I can do the calm voice. But sometimes my capacity, my patience, my flexibility feels like it's smaller than it used to be. So here's the headline for this episode. This isn't a parenting problem, it's a capacity problem. Let's talk about the helper trap. It's when you become the person who anticipates everything. You manage the logistics, you hold the emotional tone, you keep the whole machine running, and you can do it day in, day until you can't. Now, your heavy season may look different than mine. Your heavy season might be caregiving, or it might be a newborn and no sleep, or it might be a kid whose school struggles make every night feel like a second shift. Different details, same math, heavy season math. Now, here's the dirty truth. Caregiver strain is real, and isolation makes it worse. The American Psychiatric Association talks about caregivers experiencing high stress and feeling isolated and undersupported. So if you find yourself feeling more irritated, more likely to shut down, more I cannot handle normal life kind of going on with you, that is not you failing. That's your nervous system carrying load. I'm going to say it again because you need it. This isn't a parenting problem. It's a capacity problem. So what do we do with it? Well, we stop pretending we have unlimited capacity. It's a finite resource. And we get strategic. Here's what we want to do. We want to lower demands without lowering connection. Not forever, and it's not as an excuse. This is pacing. You don't need a new personality. You need a plan for a low capacity day. Summer should feel easier, but for a lot of families, it gets messy, fast, like real fast. There's snacks, screens, sibling fights, boredom, reading battles, late bedtimes, and suddenly parents become the whole operating system. That's why I'm hosting Summer Without the Spiral on Thursday, May 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a 1-hour parent workshop to help you build a simple summer plan for learning, play, screens, and sanity. We'll talk about how to prevent the summer slide without turning summer into school, what counts as learning, and how to use tiny wins so your family has a plan you can return to when summer gets wobbly. When you sign up, you'll get access to the live workshop, the replay if you can't make it live, and a printable summer planning guide, also known as your Summer Command Center, to help you map out routines, screen expectations, reading goals, boredom ideas, and weekly resets. You'll leave with a simple framework for the 4 summer anchors. This workshop is free to attend. I'm simply asking families to consider making a donation to my Kyle Peace Foundation fundraiser as I train for Dobie 2027 as a push athlete. Register using the link in the show notes. One of my favorite visuals is called the 2 dials. Okay, let me explain it to you. Picture 2 dials in your house. Dial 1 are demands. They're things like tasks, expectations, extras. And dial 2 is connection. Things like warmth, presence, repair. Now, when demands stay high in a heavy season, connection oftentimes becomes collateral damage. So we turn demands down on purpose and we protect connection with something small and repeatable. So here's some scripts for those low capacity days that are practical. And I want to give you the words that you can use in practice because sometimes just knowing what to say and having the words to say can take something that feels like an invisible load and make it more visible. So even being able to say to yourself something like, today is a low capacity day in our house. We're going to do the bare minimum and stay kind to each other, to ourselves. It might be saying something like, I'm not available for a big thing right now, but I'm still here. We can try again tomorrow, or maybe 10 minutes. You might say something like, this week we're doing the simple version. We're not adding extra. We're protecting our energy. And if you find yourself thinking, but shouldn't I be able to do this? No, that's the helper trap talking. Okay, let's have a quick school translator minute. I talk a lot about how kids will look fine at school and hold it together, and then they come home and it's like meltdown city. It's like, how did this volcano erupt? I just asked what they wanted for a snack. And you're like, what's going on? Here's the thing. Those meltdowns at home are often not manipulation. That's exhaustion for our kids. A lot of our kids use every ounce of regulation to get through the school day. And home is where they finally feel safe enough to fall apart. So if you're emailing school, the translation is this. My kid can hold it together at school, and the cough shows up at home. I'd like to partner on supports that reduce load during the day. Okay, let's talk about repair. Here's the script you can borrow from me. You might say something like this. That came out really sharp. I'm carrying a lot right now. I love you. Let's try again. And if your kid says something like, you're mean, you could say, you're right. That wasn't very nice. My tone wasn't okay. I'm fixing it. I'm still the grown-up, and I'm still learning. Now, repair isn't groveling. Repair is leadership. If lowering demands turns into chaos, drop the extras, not the boundaries. We're still safe. We're still kind. Now, sometimes when we're caregivers, guilt can show up. Guilt loves the fantasy of unlimited capacity. Pacing is responsible parenting. If your kid escalates, connection first. I'm here. Then one simple next step. Summer should feel easier, but for a lot of families, it gets messy, fast, like real fast. There's snacks, screens, sibling fights, boredom, reading battles, late bedtimes, and suddenly parents become the whole operating system. That's why I'm hosting Summer Without the Spiral on Thursday, May 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a 1-hour parent workshop to help you build a simple summer plan for learning, play, screens, and sanity. We'll talk about how to prevent the summer slide without turning summer into school, what counts as learning, and how to use tiny wins so your family has a plan you can return to when summer gets wobbly. When you sign up, you'll get access to the live workshop, the replay if you can't make it live, and a printable summer planning guide, also known as your Summer Command Center, to help you map out routines, screen expectations, reading goals, boredom ideas, and weekly resets. You'll leave with a simple framework for the 4 summer anchors. This workshop is free to attend. I'm simply asking families to consider making a donation to my Kyle Peace Foundation fundraiser as I train for Dobie 2027 as a push athlete. Register using the link in the show notes. Let's talk tiny wins. Pick one is enough. Tiny win number 1, drop one demand for 7 days. Tiny win number 2, choose one connection anchor. And yes, even 60 seconds, that counts. Tiny win number 3, use a phrase like not available and I'm still here once. Tiny win number 4, repair once, especially if you've slipped and maybe lost your temper, used a tone. Pick one is enough. I appreciate you being a part of the Psych to Parent community and listening to the podcast. There are 3 favors I'd like to ask of you. Favor number 1, share this episode. If you know a parent who's crispy, maybe they're overfunctioning, overwhelmed, carrying the invisible load, send them this episode and say something like, listen to the capacity, not character part, and the 2 dials, and help me lower demands without losing connection. Favor number 2, if you want to support my Dobie 2027 Push Athlete fundraiser with the Kyle Peace Foundation, click the link in the show notes and donate. You're supporting inclusion through sports and beyond, and helping me bring another athlete to the starting line and across the finish line. It's linked in the show notes. Favor number 3, if Psych to Parent has helped you feel less alone or helped you parent steadier in a harder season, leave a review. Reviews are how this show finds the parents thinking, why can't I handle a normal life right now? In this episode, we named the helper trap and took shame off the table. You got heavy season math, the 2 dials, some low capacity scripts, and a repair line. So a hard season can be hard without your relationship becoming collateral damage. We'll keep making the homeschool puzzle less mysterious together. 1 capacity check at a time. 1, this is a low capacity day permission slip. 1, turn demands down, protect connection dial. 1, not available for big things, still here sentence. 1, turn demands down, protect connection dial. 1, not available for a big thing, and I'm still here sentence. 1, after school crash reframe. 1, quick repair. That came out sharp. I'm carrying a lot. I'm sorry, I love you. Let's try again. So you can pace the season without burning everything down. And the next time you sit at that tiny round table in that tiny chair, remember, schools have expertise and you are the expert on your child. Your insight is not extra, it's essential. You're not behind. You're building a partnership and you're building skills, yours and theirs, 1 small, doable step at a time. Until next time, my friends. Thank you for hanging out with me on Psych to Parent. I'm Dr. Amy, your not so typical school psychologist, and I'm genuinely glad you're here doing this work instead of quietly white knuckling it and blaming yourself. Your tiny win from today's episode is simple. Do not overhaul your entire parenting style. Pick 1 idea, one sentence, or one tiny shift and try it in a low-stakes moment this week. Then notice what changes, even if it is just by 1%. If you want more support, head over to psych2parent.com. You'll find show notes, simple scripts, and parent-friendly guides that go with these episodes. While you're there, make sure you join the Tiny Wins mailing list so you get weekly brain-based tips, real-life examples from my work with families, and first dibs on new workshops and resources. It's the easiest way for us to stay connected beyond the podcast. If this podcast was helpful, it really does matter when you tap follow or subscribe. Leave a quick review or text it to a friend who is parenting a big-feeling, big-hearted kid too. This podcast is for education and encouragement. It is not therapy, and it's not a substitute for individualized care. If you're worried about your child or yourself, please reach out to a trusted professional in your area. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are building something new, one tiny win at a time. I'll see you in the next episode, probably with a cold coffee in hand, cheering you on.